Okay, hello YouTube. I want to make a quick video on automating my grocery list using Power Automate, Microsoft Lists, and Microsoft To Do. So what I'm going to talk about here is first I'm just going to go over the process, kind of what the manual process is for kind of generating a grocery list. Then I'm going to go into the kind of a more systematic process here. And then after doing that, we're going to look really quickly at creating a list, then creating the to-do list inside of to-do that you actually use when you're going to get your groceries, and then creating a Power Automate flow to kind of link those things together. So with that, let's get started. So the problem I wanted to solve here is whenever I generate my grocery list, it's kind of a long, kind of, I wouldn't say it's a long, painful process, but it's not easy. So this is kind of usually what I've done here is that, I start out, I go to my cabinets, and then I do this whole step right here, which is I look at each food, each type of food and each drink in the cabinet, and then I have the decision to make. Is this food a staple? Is it something that I want to, always keep in stock? If it is, then my second decision is that item running low? So for example, let's say I always want to keep milk in stock, then yes, it's a staple. Is it running low? If it is running low, then yes, we'll add it to my grocery list. Then move on to the next item. Or if it's milk, it is a staple and it's not running low, it's perfectly in stock, then just ignore that item. All right, then you go on to the next one. Let's say bananas. If it's a staple, let's say it's not a staple, then I have to make a decision. It's not something that I always keep in stock. It might be something that I'm just kind of playing around with, something like that. So if I don't like it, I want to keep it around, then I just ignore it. If I do want to keep it in stock, then okay, I know that. And then now I can decide, is it running low? If it is, then add it to the list and ignore. Right, so you have that. Now, one initial problem here is that if there's something that's out of stock in your cabinets, then you can just forget about it and not, you might just forget that it's there and not add it to your list because you don't have any kind of record of what your staple items are. So that's an issue. And then so you do this and then you're done. So you can see there's a lot of kind of decision making and mental energy involved with kind of generating this list. So the a little bit more systematic process, this isn't fully automated, but it's I think this is much better, is to basically say, all right, you start out, you go to your cabinets, you open up your list, Microsoft list in this case, and then you look at each item in there, and then all you do is you write down, is the item that you're looking at, is it in stock or is it not? So instead of going through this kind of, weird decision process here, you're just saying, apples, are they in stock? Bananas, are they in stock? Milk, is it in stock or out of stock? Is it running low? Things like that. So you do that and you kind of create kind of like a database of items that are in stock and out of stock. And then from there, you generate your grocery list and then you're done. So it's doing a similar process, but to me, this involves a lot less mental energy than this process. So this is the process I'm going to show kind of how to build here. And I guess really quick, just to show what this manual process looks like, it would be, you're in your Microsoft To Do here, so you would have your grocery list here. You would go to your cabinets, so you could say, all right, look at the cabinets, I see I need some apples. Or I can see I need to stock up on milk, or whatever. And then use that when you go shopping, stuff like that. So that would be kind of the way they do it now. Another thing to keep in mind is that for me, I do a lot of this on mobile because I don't have my desktop sitting there right by my kitchen cabinet. So if you're on mobile, then you have to type all this out on a mobile screen, and it's a little bit more of a pain. So the first thing to look at here is to create the list in Microsoft Lists. So this is really simple. Just go in here, create a new list. We'll do a blank list. We'll call it our grocery staples list. All right, fill in whatever details you want here. Then all we need in here is just two separate columns. So we'll have this one go column settings, rename this. So this is going to be the item. Then my second column is going to be, let's see, it's going to be a choice. And it's going to be a status. So my choices here are going to be my item's in stock, it's out of stock, or it could be running low, for the sake of example. We'll color these just to make them nice to work with. All right, stuff like that. All right, so now we have our list with 2 columns. We'll add some items to it. So let's say some staples that I want to keep in stock. I want to keep apples in stock. And we'll say that they're currently in stock. All right, I want to keep bananas in stock. Let's say they're running low right now. We'll say milk. We'll say we're out of milk. We'll just create a few just for the sake of a good example. And we'll say cereal is currently in stock. All right, simple as that. All right, so now I have basically, I think of it kind of as a database. I mean, that might be trying to make it a little bit too fancy, but you know, it's structured information about what things that I want to keep in stock in my home, kind of a thing. So I think it's kind of cool. All right, so you got your list now. So next thing you do is you create your list in To Do. We've already kind of covered that. Literally just go into the To Do app, you know, create a new list, and then there's your list there. You can change colors and stuff if you want, but yeah, nothing fancy. All right, so now we have our Microsoft list and our list in To Do. So now we're going to create a flow. Actually, before I do that, let's talk through just, so once you have this, so now you can kind of switch over to this process, which is every week, or however long you're doing, however often you're creating your grocery list, you just go to your cabinets, and then you go through the list here. You can say, well, this is running low, maybe it's out of stock now. Or this one, it was in stock, but you know, now it's running low or whatever. All right, and so, you know, all you gotta do is just go down your list, tap each item, and then you know, mark the correct status for it, and then you have your information that you need to create your to-do list here. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use Power Automate to take, we're basically just gonna look through every item on our grocery list here. We're gonna look for the items that are not in stock. So we're gonna look for the items that are running low or out of stock. And for each of those, we're gonna add them to our grocery list automatically. So to do that, we go to Power Automate, we're gonna create a manual flow, or an instant flow, sorry. We'll call this grocery list, and we're going to trigger it manually. All right, so we trigger the flow. So what we're going to do is, let me check my notes here. Actually, let me pause this video right here, and I'll be right back. Okay, there we go, I'm back. I had to check my notes there. So, all right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do a SharePoint step. So I'm not an expert on this, but I believe that Microsoft Lists over here is built on top of SharePoint lists. So that's why we're using a SharePoint step here. So with the SharePoint list, we're going to get the items out of the list. Let's see, so the site we're going to use, it's going to be by, this is going to be my personal SharePoint site here. So we'll just enter that in, it's a custom value. The list we're working with, we're using this grocery staples list. That's the one that we create over here. And we're going to say, we're going to filter our query. So here we're going to filter it down because we don't want the in-stock items. So basically we're just going to say, we're looking for the status column. So we're going to say status NE, it means not equals. And let me make sure I got that right. Yep, status not equals in stock. Yeah, that's that. All right, so now we have our flow. It's going to get us all of the items which are not in stock. So let's save this. We'll test it just to make sure that it works correctly before moving on. All right, nothing too fancy here, but of course you got to sign in, give it permission to run, stuff like that. Okay. And then here it's running. All right, so it got a list out of our grocery staples list. So if this worked correctly, this should show us apples, bananas, and milk in here, because those are the items that are not in stock. And so you get this crazy JSON output here, but if you look at the value, it's right here in the body here. Here's our 3 items we're looking at. Item number 2 is milk. Item number 1 is bananas. Item 0 is apples. Milk, bananas, apples, right? So we know that's working. So now we're getting our list of out of stock items. We're pulling that out of the list. So now all we got to do is add those to our to-do list in Microsoft To Do. Okay, so we got our items out of here. We know that's working. So now we're going to, for each of these items, we're going to add a to-do item to our to-do list. So we're going to do a control, and we're going to say for each item out of this list up here, say get the value of this. That's going to line up to, right, if you look at this JSON response we got, we're going to say here's the value of that JSON response. So that's the output. We're getting the value there. And you notice inside of this value we have our 3 items that we're looking at. So for each item here, we're going to add a to-do. All right. The list we're going to add to is this grocery list here, grocery list 2. That's the one I created right here. We'll ignore the due dates for now. Set importance to normal. We'll say it's not started yet. Oh, and we need to change the title here. So the title needs to be the name of the item. So, right, we're looking at the value of that JSON response. We dig down into this first item, and then we get the title of that item here. So we're looking for Apple, the title. So if we get the title here, then that should give us this title here, I believe. So we got that. We'll save it. And that should be it for the flow. So again, just to summarize, we're going to say get all of the items out of our grocery staples list here. Not sure why that shows up blank. Yep. So we're saying get me all of the items out of my grocery staple list where the status is not in stock. So in other words, get me all of those 3 there. Right. So we get those items here, and then for each item, we're going to add a to-do. We're going to set the title of the to-do to the name of the item. Now let's test it and see if it works. So we'll run it manually. Need to sign into Microsoft To Do, of course. All right, succeeded. We can look at the run, see what it did. So it ran for each of these items. If you look, it ran 3 times, 1 for each of those 3 items. If we switch over to our to-do list, bam, there you go. Here are 3 to-do items. So that's pretty much it. So you got that. Now there are a couple of other little nice optional things you can do after this, make it a little bit nicer. So you can create some bookmarks, right? For example, let's do that just to demonstrate. All right, so we'll create a bookmark for our list. We're going to create a folder on here. All right, so there's our list. We're going to bookmark the Power Automate flow right here. Well, let me make sure I got the URL right. All right, we're going to bookmark that, add it to our folder. And then we're going to bookmark our grocery list. Yep. All right, so now we got this folder that has all of our items in it. And so, now we're sitting here, a week's gone by or whatever. We come back in here. All we got to do is open up our 3 items. First, go to our cabinets, do our inventory. Let's say milk is now in stock because it filled it back up. Cereals running low. Apples are out of stock. Bananas are in stock. All right, so we go in there, we update our list. All we gotta do is go in here, run our flow. And then there you go. Cereal, which is running low, and apples, which are out of stock. They both automatically just come over here. So you can go to the grocery store, use the Microsoft To Do app, get your stuff, and as you're going through the grocery store, check off each item, and then there you go. Of course, you can expand this to other items. I just have groceries on here, but you could add stuff like paper towels, shampoo, trash bags, other things that you need to keep in stock wherever you're at. So it kind of scales in that way, which is kind of nice. Whenever the Microsoft Lists app comes out on Android, that'll be nice as well, because then you can open, potentially you could open the Lists app on your phone, go in there, do your inventory, and then hopefully kick off your flow, and then be ready to go instead of having to do this on a mobile browser or something like that. Yeah, so that's about it for now. I just wanted to share that. That was kind of neat, and go from there. Thanks.